Hey everyone, this is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Scoop News. All right, let me start this off. I'm going to break down basically some of the stuff that occurred last night with the election. I am going to make this announcement though. I switched from the Republican Party to an independent years ago. Unfortunately, I'm tired of not being able to vote in races. Paul Caragiulo, when he ran for last time for county commission, Republicans, he was going to win it. Whoever won the Republican ticket was going to take it because the Democrats were weak on that area. I didn't have any say in the matter. Congressional, U.S. Congress, between Stubbe Gonzalez and Akins, because it's a staunchly conservative area that they're covering, because the Democrats are not organized financially or at an organizational level. Whoever wins that is probably going to be the Congress member. I had no say in that because I'm an independent. Democrats didn't either, unfortunately. And so I'm switching back to the Republican Party because I want say in my election process. It sucks. It's a two-party system, but a lot of my views are along the Republican line. Oddly enough, though, a lot of my local views aren't. But to look at that race, that was surprising. I had a conversation with Dr. Gonzalez off the record, and it basically is what I was seeing yesterday. Every website I went to where dark money played a role in putting out negative ads regarding him. And generally, I know how to dissect through them. But they started to have an impact and wear on me. And if they had it on me, I can only imagine how they impacted into other individuals. They painted a real negative picture. And I remember sitting here yesterday looking at one of them thinking, he may lose because there's just too many of these out there. And he did lose. The other surprising race that I just wasn't sure was Bridget Ziegler for the school board against Nick Guy. I interviewed them both. I know where they stand on their issues. I thought Nick might have a chance to beat her. Because all the poll numbers, everything I was looking at, I was starting to question it. I actually voted for Bridget. I like Nick; he's a great guy, but my philosophical views are more in line with Bridget in terms of schools. But Nick is a great guy, so you hate to see someone lose when they put up such a good fight. Maria Rule, off the record, we talked and she and I didn't think she had a chance. She did it just to say, hey, I don't want this guy running unopposed. We shouldn't have, the system shouldn't be the way it is, and blah blah blah, and all that good stuff. I can tell you, back in early July when I interviewed her, she and I did not think she was going to win because big money was behind Knighton. Everything was flowing his way. That is a true grassroots campaign, and I'm glad for Maria. She's going to make an excellent judge on the 12th Judicial Circuit. So kudos to her. That was probably the biggest surprise last night. I wasn't surprised by some of the other ones. There's some stuff out there that should be coming out, I'm thinking, late soon, unless they decide to put it away because he lost. But one of the candidates in this four-party super school board race was getting hit hard. Actually, I don't think any of the info came out yet. They tried to put it through me, and I hadn't had time to research it. Anyone should be pissed is people like the teachers. The school board, I heard, put out over $200,000 trying to in support behind Karen Rose. I'm thinking of Karen Rose. I don't forget her last name. Karen. And I interviewed her. I should know her last name. Karen Rush? Forget her last name. That's horrible. But she had a ton of backing. They really wanted her on the school board, and she lost. How about all the money from special interest, from the union, school board union, from everywhere that flowed to these candidates, and yet you keep the same three candidates in position on the school board? That should be concerning. We had Chris Ziegler win. He's a GOP head against Alexandra Coe. I personally think Alexandra Coe is a lot more experienced, a lot more knowledgeable, and I think Chris would probably admit that now that the race is over. He's going to have a tough race against Ruda. Ruda seems to know a lot more, and hopefully we'll see what happens there. But he's going to have a tough race against Ruda, so we'll see what's going to take place there. Surprised with how a lot of people in Venice South went with individuals like James Buchanan and Greg Stubbe, who don't even live in this district, yet they voted for them to represent them in this district. Buchanan, I think, is northern Siesta Key, and Stubbe is somewhere in northern Sarasota too. But you guys voted for them to represent you. So some surprises there. It should be interesting. I'm going to cover the general election like I always do. I had been contacted by David Shapiro's group to see if I'll do an interview, and I'll be fair in it, even though I'm a Republican, and I'm obviously don't. We'll see what happens there, but it should be a fair interview with me. I want to be as fair as possible and give them equal say. I did invite Vern. He probably won't sit down with me. Greg, he never got back to me. So a lot of these guys haven't gotten back to me. So if they do, great, I'll sit down. If they don't, then we'll see what happens when election time comes around. I can almost forecast the winners right now, but I'm not going to. So it was an exciting night. Oh, yeah, one last thing. The SOE, Supervisor Elections. Ron Turner, you had one job. One job, and you messed it up last night. I have no idea what happened. You guys saw me put out the final results. That's because the SOE site, Supervisor Elections for Sarasota County, said these are the results. 100% are in. It was up there for like 15 minutes. I even double checked to make sure. It didn't seem strange to me because I've seen results come in that fast. Unfortunately, they were wrong. And it led me to make one mistake in my calling, which was Nick Guy over Bridget. After they fixed the computer glitch and brought the numbers where reported in line, I found out that no, it was Bridget that actually won. So, and I found out I wasn't the only person. A lot of media were following that, and they said, "Oh, 100% are in," and you go with it. My problem here is I'm too fast. I get information, I get it out right away, and major media has a vetting process that they got to go through before they get it out. And a lot of those guys didn't finish their vetting process before the glitch corrected itself. So there we that's where we stand. The election's going to be November 4th. We're gonna some stuff that wasn't on the ticker yesterday. Northport City Council, you got Pete Emmerich going up against Kevin Rouse. Here in Venice, you got Fred Frazen going against this new individual, and I forget her name now. Jesus. I figured out what I have. It's a form of dyslexia where I recall stuff, but it's hard for me to remember it. I think faster than I can put information out. Like when I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, and that's why a lot of times when I write, you can't understand a lot of it because I'm trying to write what I'm thinking, which is way ahead of everything. All right, everybody, so that's it. The general election 2018 for Sarasota County. What do you guys think of it? All right, this has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.